This is Eric Nofsinger. I'm from High Voltage Software, and we're looking at Tournament of Legends at GDC 2010, and we're with Gamereactor. All right, so we're looking at Tournament of Legends. This is exclusive for the Wii, and it is a fighting game based on classic mythology with our own twists on things. It's a dual-handed fighting system, allowing the player to play with multiple weapon sets. Not too many fighting games allow you to do that outside of, say, Bushido Blade. There's been very few fighting games that allow you to switch weapon types and fighting styles, as well as adding enchantments to those weapons to give additional modifiers. So it gives a great deal of variety in the different playable characters. You want to pick a character here and kill someone. The weapon combat, we have the armor on the characters you could see on them, and that's actually, you can damage that armor and knock it off throughout combat. And then in between each match, the player has the opportunity to repair that armor using sort of a specific motion. Each arena has a guardian, so an arena might have a big kraken, a tentacle creature. It might have a rock, a big mythical bird. It may have minotaurs. It can have any number of different, like, really wonderful big giant creatures. There's a lot of, you have your base controls, which allow you to just sort of pick up and play, as well as a lot of special moves and combinations, multi-combos. And when Josh is going through this and playing, there's many times where he can do special moves, such as he can trigger events like sending down a rain of arrows. He can throw out meat to which will cause, or a bear trap. He can do stick a lion after the Valkyrie there. Another component of the game mechanism is, as well as having that sort of offset 3D arena, it allows the player to move within that space. We also have a mechanic by which the person in the foreground tends to have a slight advantage, and so by playing well in the game, you actually get modifiers that allow you to sort of gain that camera control, which has a little bit more of a natural motion. We're really happy with the visual style and what we've ended up with. It's a very vibrant look and something that it feels really good. It's definitely this is a pick up and play fighter. It's something that anyone could just pick up and start having a good time. But there is a degree of depth and complexity to the gameplay. This is that mini game I was telling you about. That's in between matches. Allows for the player to repair their, through sort of that medicine pestle motion, being able to repair their health, or by doing a hammering motion, repair segments of their armor. Each of the characters have a great deal of personality and kind of flawed backgrounds and things like that. Marcus, the gladiator, is pretty fun. He's kind of a big callous jerk, and it's kind of but charismatic too. He's a showboat, and he goes and a lot of things he says, he's very pompous and full of himself, which is pretty fun. You can set the battles to different acts. We have unlockable characters, unlockable weapon sets. There's a lot of enchantments, as I said before. So there's a lot for the player to discover. And we have other more over-the-top mythological creature. Obviously, Kara, the Valkyrie, is very cool. But we've got other characters that are like minotaurs and a bronze man. He's a tinkerer that controls a bronze man, so he kind of wheels around the arena on the periphery. And then Bast, which she's a cat goddess. It's world mythology, so we definitely it opened things up for us to really go crazy with things and not not worry too much about like it fitting up exactly. We were able to sort of embrace it and have fun with it. So here's an example of one of the guardians of these arenas, and this is a rock, and he managed to evade. Bass didn't fare so well there. But it's kind of nice because it's a different kind of mechanic than the more 2D playing of a lot of fighters. That's nice. He cheats. He does things like he throws meat at the opponent, and then a lion goes chasing after him. Or there's range rings that allow for the player to detect like whether or not, because it's a 3D based fighter, allowing the player to move around within an environment. It can be difficult to judge distances unless you have, by having that indicator pop up, it tells the player right away, hey, I know I can hit them. And I mean, after time, you can kind of automatically gauge it if you get good at a character. But again, we really wanted a game that somebody could just pick up and start playing right away and feel pretty good about it. The player can set up multiple numbers of acts that they want. We default to a 3-act system, sort of like the classic Greek 3-act play kind of thing, is where we got, sort of acts. But then the idea with knockdowns, if you get knocked down, you have an opportunity to get back up again and regain portion of your health. The player's allowed so many knockdowns, depending on how the player has set up that rule set, but it allows sort of a closer match that can feel very both people can feel pretty engaged. And these are set to, right now this is set to a timed a timing mechanism. The designer and a lot of the individual folks on this team are really hardcore fighting fans. And they really looked at a lot of different systems that they have loved over the years. But like one of the things that was really kind of, I thought, interesting when we were making this is just when you're really looking at in recent years there really haven't been very many original fighters. Most fighters that come out anymore have a Roman numeral after them. There are a lot of there was sort of a heyday of fighters where there were like all these really great, wonderful characters and neat settings and everything that were coming up. And in recent years, there just really haven't been that many fighters. I mean, even going back to like Smash Brothers or things like that, that's been a long time since those franchises were launched. I mean, but the only one that I can think of in recent history is maybe BlazBlue, but there's not really been that many, and it's something that we were like, hey, this genre needs a shot in the arm, and the Wii specifically doesn't have much in the way of really good fighters on it, so let's make something for this.